guys? Okay, so welcome back. Well, kind of welcome brand new to YouTube, but welcome back if you've been in my tribe a while. And had a little technical difficulties. Tried to go live from the computer, but it wasn't working. So we're live from the phone. I mean, hey, let's just do this thing. So, hey, I'm Nika Carly. If we have not hung out before, so excited to be in space with you. If you've been around and we've gone around the block and done all kinds of feels and magic and yumminess, then hey, what's up? My OGs, welcome back. So today I wanted to dive into action, expressing priorities. This is something, I was watching a Casey Neistat video and he had some fabulous, just yummy quotes, and there's one from Gandhi, and I freaking love Gandhi, and it was just like that. So since this is orgasms, money, and God show, we got to dive into all kinds of yummy feels around who we're being, how we're showing up in the world, the way that we are being the divine channel or not, the way that we are actually allowing ourselves to be in the space of creative expression or not, whether or not we are prioritizing the things that matter to us, that have meaning, that give us the most delicious and expansive sense of showing up, or if we are creating a life and doing things and being a certain way that expresses, our fears or our shame or guilt, or if it's okay, the things that I'm doing and I'm saying that I'm this person, but my actions, the way that I show up, the way that I create, the things that I do every single day are expressing something entirely different. So this is about, what are you a commitment to? What are you embodying in the way that you show up every single day, the way that you express yourself, the way that you think and move and breathe and love and make love and receive love and make money and create art. This is about you being who you said you were, you becoming this goddess up, oh my gosh, take no prisoners, I am in it to win it type version of yourself. So Gandhi says, actions express priority, right? Or action expresses priorities. I think that's the exact quote. So I want you to look at, who are you showing up as? What do your actions say about you in this moment? Are they saying that you are this wild, untamed, like, oh my gosh, I am here to shake up the world with my voice, with my passion, with my love? Am I here to be free? Or am I here to continue to keep myself in shackles? Am I here to continue to allow myself to be ruled by something other than my soul and my truth? Am I being the vessel? Am I asking for my desires and then actually being this receptive goddess container to receive them? Or as soon as the answer shows up, do I start backpedaling? Do I begin to throw out all kinds of excuses as to why it can't work right now? Yeah, this is great, except. This is good, except. Maybe we could, except, right? It sounds like a good idea, sounds like a good plan, except, this, that, and the other thing, right? So I want you to really begin to look at the things that you do on a daily basis, because, oh gosh, what was I? It was, no, I can't remember. I was listening. Oh, I think it was Joe Dispenza, right? And he was saying that, oh my gosh, I'm totally forgetting. It's about habits. It's about habits. It's about habits. It's about habits. Anyways, the basis of it is that, our habitat. That's it. Our habitat becomes habits, right? So the way that we create our environment, right? We are always co-creating with soul and divine, or we're co-creating with our fears and our doubts, right? We're always co-creating with something, someone, right? And the habitat that we create for ourselves, it is ground. It is fertile ground for something. It's up to us to create a habitat that is fertile ground for habits that allow us to live and express as our highest self, that show our soul priorities, right? rather than creating a fertile environment for manifesting more fear-induced decision making, shame, guilt, blame. We are creating something. We are creating fertile ground for something to be birthed. So this is about us showing up and allowing that fertility, right, to create sacred ground for what we desire to be, who we desire to be, how we desire to serve, the art that we're here to make, the way that we want to be pleasured and to express that pleasure in our art, right? I was talking to one of my soul sisters for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful program that we're in, and we were talking about like, what is it? Like, what is the thing, right? Like, how do we want to express? How do we want to like talk and move and all kinds of stuff? And all this stuff was just coming up for me, and it always does. Like, there's always, when we get into space with soul sisters or soul brothers, there's always something that's gonna, like, oh hey, that's the thing. Like, let's birth that. Let's bring that through. That's why tribe is so important, because it allows us to speak to the priorities of our soul. It allows us to move from the fear-based habitat that we often create, and to really begin to see with true eyes, to see with the sense of deep internal and intrinsic knowing, rather than to use the eyes that only see the physical, to use the eyes that only can see what has been shown to us in the past, and then we have these colored lenses that we then view everything from. So allowing ourselves to move into that space of, oh, this is knowing, this is knowingness, this is tribe, this is love, this is pleasure, this is my gift, this is intrinsic awareness, this is being in my body so deeply and so just like sacredly, that I am able to infuse that pleasure, infuse that desire, infuse that turn on into everything that I do, so that no matter what we're doing, we are infusing it with the callings of our soul, rather than infusing it with like, okay, oh, well, this could be good, but maybe this, but what about that? And then we're setting priorities based upon fear and, oh, guilt, and I should be this or this, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, and we're always self-doubting, and we're second-guessing, we're going back and forth, and we commit to something, and then we backpedal, we commit, and then we find all these reasons as to why we can't be that commitment, right? Well, or we overextend and we commit to things that aren't a turn on, right? And I feel like I'm losing the sun here. We commit to a whole bunch of things that do not speak to our truth and that do not speak to who we say that we are. So if you are here to be this untamed, wild, expressed, fully enamored with yourself kind of a goddess, then you've got to be willing to show up and create priorities around that. Because if you're creating priorities around your job that is not your soul's calling, if you're creating priorities around people who are not your soul tribe, if you're creating priorities around the monkey mind rather than this intrinsic awareness of your body and your soul and your art and your truth, then we are not living in this space of our true like consciousness, our ascension, that vibrational frequency that we desire to be and to create. And if we're here to raise the vibration of our planet with who we are, then we must be the highest version of ourselves. If we continue to set priorities and say yes to things that take us further away, that distract us from those priorities, then that's what we're creating. That's the energetic signature that we're sharing with the world. So look at your priorities, look at who you're being, look at all of it, get raw, get honest, get true with yourself, and then say, okay, this is a yes, or yeah, that was maybe a yes 2 years ago, but it's not a yes now. And that can be the scary thing, right? It can be scary to look at our stuff and say, oh, that used to work. Oh, that used to be important. Oh, I used to be an embodied yes to that, but now I'm not. Now that doesn't actually fuel me. That doesn't actually allow me to share the message that's burning a hole in my soul. We get into this space where security and familiarity takes precedence over our soul, right? That thing that's burning inside of you, it's probably scaring the shit out of you because it is completely, it's like the antithesis of what you've created a life around, right? Maybe not in every way, but in maybe it's financially, maybe it's your relationships, maybe it's your health, like something, it's gonna have to get shaken up, right? And it can be like really scary to say yes to the magic in your soul, to untame that wild magic, to be like this full embodied yes to your pleasure and to your turn on, and to allow that to infuse into everything that you say and do, and the way that you move and the way that you speak and all of it. But this is your invitation. This is your invitation to say yes to it all. This is your invitation to go deeper, to look at your priorities, to look at the way that you are self-expressing in the world, and to show up, to goddess up as the version of yourself that you are being called to right here, right now, in this moment. So, if you want to go deeper with me, I invite you to Sex Magic Woman. That's my new program. It's my new jam. It's 10 weeks of goddessing up and becoming completely turned on, excavating all the feels, getting into your body, being led by your body, and looking at that thing that's probably scaring the shit out of you. You're already successful and you don't want to rock the boat, except there's this magic. There's this intrinsic longing and yearning and hunger. You want to start howling and stalking that freaking moon, and you want to embrace all of the pieces of yourself, and you want to do it in a tribe that gets you. This is for the indigos, the mystics, the mavericks, the wild ones. If you're ready, I invite you to come play. You can check it out at sexmagicwoman.com, and of course leave a comment. If you're new to my tribe, make sure you hit that little subscribe button, turn on that bell so that you get notifications every time I go live. Orgasms, Money, and God, it's going down on Fridays at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, pretty much every Friday. Most Fridays. That's my commitment. Most Fridays. Yeah, that's it, guys. I love you. If you want to hang out with me during the rest of the week, come hang out over on the gram at Nika Carly. I'll put a link in the description. That's it, peeps. First episode of Orgasms, Money, and God is in the books. Boom. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, here's to your untaming. Bye, wild ones. Let's goddess up. Let's get it done. Woo, woo. Now let's figure out how to turn this thing off. I think it's this. Bye.